this. Okay, so how did I get into tarot cards? Well, I was at the Mind Body Spirit Festival, and I just wanted to just take something home with me. It's a bit of a whim, so I went into the shop. I didn't have much time because I was working at the festival, and I just picked up a deck that I liked the look of. I had the idea of what kind of a deck I was going to pick up, and I kind of saw this one and the David Moon deck and just picked it up. So how did I start learning the tarot deck after I picked it up? Well, I shuffled the tarot deck and I'd take one card each day. I'd imagine myself as the character in the deck, and then I'd kind of see how the card appeared throughout the day. And this one came to realize that doing it that way with the, what are we talking about, the 156 possible outcomes, it's possible that something in that reading will reflect in your day. So it's not that you're fortune telling. It's more so that the right tarot deck, the tarot cards tells a story that reflects everybody's life, and that every single card will should at some point be reflected in your daytime. There's a storyline in it, the Fool becoming enlightened. It's very similar to the storyline of Matrix trilogy. Maybe in the future I'll post up my tarot card, the Matrix trilogy theory they've come up with the same kind of storyline. And then the other cards generally reflecting people's problems, material issues, passion, and emotions. So I kind of sort of see it as a fun way to just take a different look or perspective on your life. And so my attitude towards life and tarot cards, it's a game. It's a fun self-knowledge game. Not to take it overly seriously. Not to go mad about it. You don't have to get angry. You don't have to be scared of tarot cards. You don't have to rule your life. Don't use it as a fortune tool. It's a fun way of just, when you start off with just with one card, it's easy enough to work out. Then you move on. Then you move on to doing 3 cards, and I like to just see how the energies flow. So I would do that 3 cards and see how it reflects how my energy is flowing. And each card should somehow be connected to the other card if the tarot deck is good. And then I do now I'm beginning to do the more complicated tarot spreads, cross, 70 card spreads, and that sort of thing. So how would I? So if anyone wants to learn tarot cards, do what I'd recommend what I did. Just go into a tarot shop or a shop that sells tarot decks and pick one that you like the look of. And if you can't find one, then pick the Rider Waite deck because it's the most popular one. And when you're reading about tarot, it's the one that most people make the videos about. So I'll show you kind of so my tarot deck collection. I have the David Moon deck was my first one, which I used intuitively. It's the deck I use the most because it's the one I intuitively picked. Someone then gifted me the Rider Waite deck, and I'd use that for more intellectual readings because it's the most widely researched tarot deck, and you can get more information on the symbolism. The symbolism is kind of like more rooted in Western occultism, so the symbols in it just that most European people could resonate with. And then a third deck I got, I can't remember why I got in the first place, but I got an erotic tarot deck, which is the Manra tarot deck. So to show you the difference between the 3, I picked the Hermit card because the Hermit card is kind of like my soul character in the journey of the Fool's Journey. My main concern is mysticism, hence Hermit deck. So the traditional Hermit here, he represents Spirituality, inner knowledge, going inside. Here he is holding the lamp. So this is from the Rider Waite deck, associated with the number 9. This is from my favorite deck. This is the Hermit card from the Diva Moon deck. And Diva Moon is like the Rider Waite deck, except for it's more darker, it's gothic, it's about delving into more of the subconscious. And so here, the Hermit character is a disturbed character. He's more reclusive, away from people. And the dead fish beside him, it's symbolizing he can't get away from his ego. And even though the erotic tarot deck, I don't really use that much often, uh, but the Hermit card out of the 3 is my favorite. Out of the Hermit cards, it's this kind of like this werewolf. Why is it? Yeah, why is the werewolf looks like he's there at the daytime? Isn't it strange? Never thought of that being kind of weird. But he's like some more solitude, and this tarot deck is interesting, but it's not my favorite. But it is interesting to use. Sometimes it's useful to use. But the Hermit card, though, out of the 3 is actually my favorite because I like werewolves. They're hairy. I'm hairy. And so yeah, there are my 3 decks, and so the tarot deck. There's the benefits mostly. It just makes it's fun. It's fun to use. That's the main reason. And do anything because it's fun. It's very rational. It does get you to think about something from different perspectives. Like it makes you look at your love life in a practical way. It makes you look like it makes you look the spiritual side of your business life. It makes everything is connected, and so it makes you look at everything at a slightly different angle. The more complicated the spread, the more interesting reading you're going to get. For us, I've done a reading where it took me 2 hours to read. It's interesting. It's easier to read if the image is more intuitive to you. A tarot card is interesting, and sometimes I just can't make a decision, and I go, alright, or I'm going to do a tarot reading, and then tarot readings makes my decision for me. I go, right, that's it. It helps you become more in tune with yourself. It helps you become more creative, because the tarot deck, it's creative. The people who created were very creative. It was well thought out. It boosts your creativity. So, one tarot card reading that I'll share with you today. Get my tarot decks on my altar over there. So what did I get today? I did a mind, body, spirit reading. And for the card representing my mind was the 7 of Swords. And this was representing ill-conceived plans. So my mind, my day wasn't planned for me yet. I had things I had to juggle. I wasn't really sure what I was going to be doing. And this was causing me this anxiety, so I kind of went to it, okay, well, I'm just going to throw out planning altogether and let the mind be clear, just kind of go with the flow. And so the card representing my body was the Page of Pentacles, and in the Moon deck, the Page of Pentacles is kind of like a student card. So this is kind of like, I interpret this as to learn about your body. And that day I was going for a treatment for my back, and then with the option later of doing a meditation, a guided meditation about using a guardian, using connecting with the guardian of your body. And I won't go and explain that, but it was interesting. So I kind of went, okay, that was the decision. That was the kind of meditation I was going to do today, because I meditate 2 or 3 times a day. I go off mystics, and sometimes I have to go, oh crap, I can only do one thing. And so I had made a decision what I was going to do that day. So it helped me actually fix my plans. It was like, so in the first card, I was like, well, okay, my plans today aren't, the plan I have in my mind isn't very well thought out. second card, then I'm gonna oh well, okay, I was gonna go learn about my body. That helped make the puzzle easier, and then my spirit card. Oh, my spirit card was a reverse five of cups. So that was a new friendship I'm praying. So it's a situation that the cards helped me make a decision, and I did manage to actually reflect my day. And not all the time. Maybe sometimes the cards aren't going to do that for you, but uh, I keep a journal of my tarot card readings, and it worked out quite well. Because if the tarot cards are well made and well thought out, each card will reflect a part of your life that you probably will come across today. And if you have a problem in your mind and you don't ask the tarot cards a question, you just let the deck, whatever problem you have in your subconscious will come out in your reading, because your mind is continuously interpreting symbols and trying to work out what it is. That's what language is, and so how language works. So when you're looking at the tarot decks and you have something in your subconscious, your mind will make you interpret the cards in a particular way that will reflect your problems. And you can twist every single card to reflect almost any problem. And that's how the tarot card works. It's a very intelligent, it's a very clever way of retelling a story that reflects everybody's life, and then you yourself, you you stitch the story together and see how it reflects your own life, and so it can be quite interesting. It can be very interesting, and also in terms of artwork, and some people just collect them because the artwork is quite good. I mean, artwork can be quite good. So that's anyway, my little rant over about their cards. Um, Maybe in future I'll probably go into more detail. I'm not an expert on them, but I do use them and kind of useful. It's not my main thing I do, but mixes up the day. You could also just get a dice and roll a dice and make decisions that way. But for me, making decisions with tarot cards works.